Chris Yandeck, CYInterview, covering Las Vegas and the world. As you can see, we're here tonight. It's Saturday evening on the Las Vegas Strip, and we are only 1 week away from WrestleMania 41 here in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. And today, we bring you our CYInterview, looking back at another pro wrestling great with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Here it is.
You're on CYInterview.
I'd like to welcome my guest this time. He's battled throat cancer, and he's the manager of the Century, Bobby the Brain Heenan. How you doing, and how is your health, man?
I'm doing good, and I have a little trouble saying a few words yet, but other than that, my blood pressure's good, my weight's good, my health is, they say, good, so I feel okay. I just don't have the strength I had a couple of years ago, but it'll come back, and other than that, I'm feeling good.
How did the whole WWE Confidential thing come about?
Gene Okerlund called me, and he said they wanted to do a story. He said, would you mind doing it? I said, no. So then they set up a date, and they sent a camera crew over here to my place, and we did it.
Do you think that the whole story in WWE Confidential was delivered out the right way, and what do you think the fan reaction was to your story, battling throat cancer?
Well, I think people missed half of it, because they showed the interview I did at the beginning, and then they showed the Steve Austin stuff in the middle, and a lot of people thought the interview was over. Then they went back to my stuff, and I know a lot of people missed that half of it. I thought it was received quite well. The ratings numbers were good, I heard, and the email I get and everybody I talked to liked it. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I do. I really did enjoy it, for sure.
Did you see what I mean about the middle part?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean by the middle part, because they totally cut it away from you, like the story was over, then they went to something else, and then they went back to you later, and then, oh, there's more Bobby Heenan.
They never said more about Bobby later on or anything.
Yeah, so so people didn't miss half of the story in a sense.
Yeah.
Mean Gene Okerlund is now the host of WWE Confidential. What are your best memories of Mean Gene Okerlund and yourself?
Oh, Christ, I remember Gene over 30 years ago in Minneapolis. See, Gene used to be a disc jockey in Minneapolis. He used to work under the name Gene Leader, Leader or something like that. And he had an afternoon show, and he was, stacks of wax and finger on the trigger, all that dick behind these guys talk. And then he went into sales, and he was selling television time to sponsors. And we had an announcer in the AWA in those days, and name was Marty O'Neill. And Marty was a little guy with glasses, an older gentleman, Superman, really a great man. And he'd gotten sick, had a heart attack or stroke or something. And since Gene had on-air experience, they asked him if he'd come down and do some interviews. He said, yeah. So Gene came downstairs, and when I say come down, I mean the offices were upstairs. And the day was set to do interviews, and Gene introduced himself to everybody. And boy, right after that, you heard that voice, and you heard those big, strong pipes. It was like being interviewed by Ricardo Montalban. And Gene did a heck of a job for a guy who never did it. And as time went on, Marty came back, I think, a little bit, but then it was obvious Marty couldn't do it anymore. And I don't know what happened, but I think they offered Gene, or they must have offered Gene the job, and Gene took it, and history was made from there on. But, I got a trivia question for everybody. Who sang the national anthem at WrestleMania 1?
I have no idea, honestly.
As Okerlund.
That's right.
That's right.
That is true. Very good.
Yeah.
I'll put that in my interview for sure. Is there any possibility at all that you may go back to the WWE on one of their programs in the near future?
Oh yeah, I would go back on one of their programs. I wouldn't say, you never say never, but I would not want to be obligated to a contract where I have to do something a couple times a week, where I have to go fly and go stand in line 2 hours at the airport and all that stuff. I'm not, right now, today as we talk, I'm not into that. That could all change though, but I don't really see myself doing that. I can see myself doing bits and stuff, and I wouldn't mind being a public relation guy for them, like a greeter and meet people, and some of their shows they do, and the WrestleManias and stuff, sign autographs and meet and greet, and even do on-sale tickets for them, meet the people and do that. I wouldn't mind doing that. But to be involved in a storyline or something like that, I don't have it in me anymore. I don't think so. And the product isn't the product I was raised with or know how to do. So, I don't know. It's not the wrestling I knew, but I'm still who I am, and I can still meet and shake hands with people. But as far as regularly doing it on a regular basis, I'm not really interested. But then again, I haven't heard the money, so you don't know.
You have a book coming out on your whole career. Maybe you can summarize what fans can expect from reading this book?
Well, it's a great book to read when you're on an airplane. It's a great book to read when you're just sitting around with a bunch of people. See, it's not a book where you start at page 1 and you don't find out what happens until page 712. It's not like that. There's 200 and some pages, almost 300 pages. But it's like USA Today. They're short stories about my life. Most of the stories in there are about the ribs we did and the fun we had. I tell stories about Vern Gagne. I tell stories about the Iron Sheik and Vince McMahon, and stories about the belt, stories about us guys on the road and Ray Stevens, and just a whole bunch of things we did. And I think it's very entertaining.
Will there be a good look at the inside look at the life of Andre the Giant from the book?
Yeah, there's Andre stories in there. I mean, there's not much to hide about. He was a big guy that didn't like a lot of people, and he's dead. That's about it. And everybody knows what he did in the ring. Everybody knows what he did in being the $6 Million Man, playing Bigfoot and Princess's Bride, and a lot of things he did. And the reason he didn't like people was because he just got tired of people coming up to him and asking him, "Are you Andre the Giant?" "No, I'm not. I'm Eddie Shoemaker, the jockey." "What do you think he is?" And then, "How big are you? How much do you weigh? How big are your hands? How's the weather up there?" He just got tired of it. Plus, he knew they told him that he would never live to be 50 because he had the giant disease, and that's where your body grows, but your organs don't. So it's like putting an engine of a Volkswagen in a truck. It'll move it, but it won't move it for long, and that's what happened to Andre. Will Monsoon had the giant disease, but he controlled it at a young age because he's from America, from Rochester, New York, and he could get medication. Well, Andre wasn't 20 miles out of Paris. I'm not sure they had all that technology then.
What are your thoughts on, are you surprised Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan are both working for Vince McMahon now?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised Hogan is because they probably offered him a truckload of money to do it. Another thing, Hogan really does love the business. He really does. And I don't understand when people say, "I love the business." We are the business. McMahon and the promoters are not the business. We are the business. McMahon's different, though. McMahon created the business the way it is today. He's the only one that the boys would never be making the money they're making if it wasn't for McMahon. We'd still be back in the old days of territories making $50 a shot, maybe 100 now. I don't know. But I'm not surprised Hogan went back at all because what are you going to do? You've done all your life and somebody offers you a lot of money and makes your schedule not real hard. You'd take it. As for Bischoff, I heard he's busted. So he needs the money. I heard he ain't making a whole lot. So don't worry. He said all those things on TV about Vince and everything. Now you go work for the guy. You don't think he's going to get back at you? Come on.
The WWE ratings and product have been up and down of late. What are your thoughts on what the WWE needs to do with The Rock not there full-time and Steve Austin not currently active in the company? What do you think they need to do besides maybe elevating new talents?
Well, how would you elevate talent?
By putting them over against stronger guys at the top of the card.
Who's stronger? Who do you have? You've had the belt on the Undertaker, you've had the belt on The Rock, you've had the belt on Austin. 3 of the hottest things you could have. You had the belt on Hogan. There's 4. And the numbers are going down. You tell me why. I'll tell you why. Because people don't care anymore. Life has changed in this world. Do you want to see a guy go through a table? Big deal. See 2 planes go into a building. You can see a live war on TV. You can see people being kidnapped. You can see car chases. You can see stuff that is real. You can see that reality television, which is real. Wrestling, I think, has been lucky to have the run it had. But I think it's in very, very severe trouble. So I don't care who you bring in, What hurt Vince more than anything is buying WCW. As long as he had a competition, he was doing fine. Once without that competition, you own it all. Where do you go? Where do you go?
The best you can do is hope to stay at where you are, but you're most likely going to go down.
And, wrestling and television goes in hills and valleys. And you may come back up again, but I just think the world has changed so much. People aren't going to pack up their kids and family. Are you from Tampa here, around here?
I'm in the Miami, Florida area, actually.
Okay, well, in the old days in Tampa here, when Eddie Graham was a promoter, you know of him?
Mm-hmm.
They used to run weekly. Like every Tuesday night was Tampa. Every Wednesday was Miami. Every Thursday was Jacksonville. Like that. Well, you can't do that anymore. First of all, the guys are demanding big salaries. It costs $250,000 a night every time we did Nitro. Plus $1 million a month. That's $12 million a year, minimum. And that's with pyro, blowing up cars, wrestler salaries, airplane, bringing 17 trucks, burning, wrecking vans, wrecking ambulances. That all costs a lot of money. Catering, everything. Putting everybody up in rent-a-cars, hotel rooms. That's a lot of money. And with nothing coming in, it stops real quick. Well, that's what happened there. It was too expensive to run, and they weren't making any money because they didn't have a good product. So.
Yeah, well, it is a shame for sure. Any final comments?
Yeah, I just hope the people enjoy the book. It's not meant to hurt anybody, or it's a fun book. It's meant to have fun. There's some people who get insight to the business, and I just wish it could be more entertaining the way the fans want it. But I just don't see them any interest anymore. I drive all around town. I go all over the country, and people never say anymore about, hey, whatever happened to whatever. They don't say nothing. They don't say nothing, like it never existed. And did you watch Raw Monday night?
Yes, I did.
I don't watch wrestling that much anymore, but I was coming through and I saw Moolah and Mae Young on TV. And then I saw them, those two garbage men jump in the ring.
The Island Boys, they're called. They're a new tag team, whatever.
I don't know who they are. But jump in the ring and beat up those two old women. What if one of those women had died? What if one of those old women had died?
What if one of them had broken a bone, at least, to say the least?
Right. But I mean, make a move down with her neck, no place to go, and the guy dropped his big ass on her. That could have killed that woman. It could have broke her neck. Then what do you say to sponsors? I mean, this is very, very serious. You have two women, one in her late 70s, one in her 80s, who are being beat up. There is no television value to that, for me. And then they have three guys out there with an upside-down flag. That's why people aren't watching. It's shit. There's nothing to watch.
And they don't care about some of those guys that are out there, too. You know.
What do you mean?
Like I'm saying, like some of these talents like Test, and you know what I'm saying, some of these people, no matter how you sell them so much, they're never going to care about them in a sense.
You know why? They don't do interviews anymore. When a guy did an interview with Gene Oakland, it would take about 4 to 6 weeks before everybody knew who they were. Vince used to have vignettes of everyone. And that's how he got people over. Now they just have big guys come out and beat people up and throw guys through tables and beat up old women. It doesn't work that way. You have to establish them with the fans. You have to, this is so-and-so. He's a lumberjack. He's a German. He's a Nazi. He's a cowboy. Talk about the ranch. Talk about Berlin. You have to, the characters are over. Then the guy gets over. When they just come out and they all dress with beards and long hair, and it was just like the guy that bought the tickets. It's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem like it's there anymore. You don't know how to get talent over.
Yeah.
By beating people, you won't get anybody over. The old days you used to, you thought, but no, it was the interviews that got people over.
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much, Bob Heenan, for the wonderful conversation as usual. You take care, all right?
Hey, my pleasure. And the book comes out on the 28th of August, and when you go to the bathroom and you're reading it, think of me.
Yeah, sure will, man. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
For CY Interview, I'm Chris Yandeck.